Hi everyone. Um, it's the first little video that I've done in a couple days. I've been kind of sitting and thinking with what topics that I could talk on and go into a little deeper. I had a friend comment and request that I do a video on Wachuma, San Pedro cactus medicine. I'm going to hold off on that for a few days. um, as I want to really plan out and decide how I'm going to talk about it because it's a very complex medicine, um, and it takes many different forms. So I want to sit with that for a few days, but that will be a video that is upcoming. This video that I want to talk about is the despacho ceremony. So the despacho ceremonies come from the Andes, mostly done by the Quiero shamans, the Pacos. Um, in the Quiero tradition, they're shamans. The traditional name for them are Pacos. So the despacho is something that it's a ceremony that I am initiated to be able to run and do, for either personal, for one-on-one, or in groups. So I wanted to talk a little on what a despacho is, as it takes many forms. It is essentially a mandala, very similar to the sort of Indian and Buddhist traditions of creating mandalas that are then taken away by the elements. So you spend a lot of time creating this really intricate form using natural elements and then just let it sort of drift away. It's not a permanent thing. A despacho is very similar to this way. So despachos, in essence, is an offering to the spirits that they work with. The Quieros their main spirits that they work with are the Apus, the sacred mountains. Each mountain has a different spirit, and different Pacos will work with different mountains. They also work with other natural elements, such as the lakes and things like that. So despacho can be used for so many different things. Sometimes it's literally just an offering to the spirits to say thank you, and to build relationships with them. So it's an offering of thanks. It can be used for healing. It can be used in different sort of ceremonies, sort of like weddings, births, deaths, coming of age, people wanting to become pregnant, people wanting to, change careers or change life paths, or wanting more wealth in their life, pretty much asking for anything that you may want to ask spirit for. Now, depending what the intention for the despacho is, that includes various different ingredients. Now, if I have it here, I will show you. No, I don't seem to have it with me. Here we go. Sorry about that. I'm back with you now. So I work with a wonderful lady who lives in the United States, and she helps me put together despacho offerings, as she has the ability to get ingredients that I don't here in Australia. So these are all sort of different little bits and pieces of ingredients and mixes of little herbs and shells, tobacco, little shiny charms and things. Spirits love little charms and shines. They also love sugar. They love lollies and sugar. The seeds, and again more and more mixes of herbs and flowers and rocks and seeds. Cornmeal, which is a really important part. Lava salt, black lava salt. So these are all sorts of different things that are put into dispatchos. They mostly always include natural ingredients, whether it be herbs, things from the plant world, things from the mineral rock world, animal offerings such as animal fat. Traditionally in Peru, llama fetuses are often used in despacho offerings as an ingredient. So with a despacho, once you have all the ingredients, there's a very particular way that you have to set them out on the white paper cloth that you're using to set the despacho out. So depending what despacho you're doing, you have a very specific way that you need to set out the ingredients and pile them on in the right order, put them in the right places. Again, you're singing charms into them, you're calling in spirits, you're calling in intentions, you're using coca leaves in the ceremonial use of the Kintu coca ceremony ritual within itself, which is holding 3 leaves in a particular way and then blowing into them to blow intention and adding that to the despacho. All of these different elements come together, and once you have your despacho made, you then wrap it and bundle it. And once it's wrapped and bundled, you go around to everyone in the group and you infuse their intentions and their energy into the bundle by rubbing it over certain parts of their body, torso, top of the head, back, sometimes arms. Sometimes you sort of hit it. It's a very soft package, so it doesn't hurt, but you hit it quite hard on certain parts of the body to really infuse the energy. Once you've gone around to everyone in the group and done this, then you will wrap it in an Andean textile. So this is one of my Andean textiles that I sometimes use as an altar cloth and also as a despacho packaging. These are sometimes burnt, but most often not, because they hold a lot of medicine. And the work that goes into them is very, very intricate, as you can see. So it's wrapped as a sign of respect to the despacho, and then it's taken to, most of the time I take it to a fire, and then I will unwrap it and I will reuse the Andean cloth for again and again and again, as it retains the energy from that despacho. So every time it's used, it infuses more and more energy into the cloth and makes that a piece of medicine within itself. So once I get to the fire, I unwrap that, and then the despacho that's just wrapped and tied up in paper, I place on the fire and let it burn. And again, sometimes I'll do some more sort of rattling and chanting and things as it burns, and sort of watch where the smoke's going and what it's doing, as that sort of shows how well the despacho is being recognized and what exactly is happening. And you can kind of do a bit of divination work just by watching where and how the smoke is going. So that's what I will do most of the time. Putting a despacho in a fire is for very quick release. It is for essentially whatever intention is being put in, it's saying, please make this happen as quickly as possible. The other ways you can do it is release the despacho into a flowing body of water, which is, I believe, it's a slower release, but it's still quite a quick release, or it can be buried. And when it's buried, it's a very slow, gradual release where the medicine will slowly release for a very long amount of time. So over, say, months to a year, the medicine will be slowly releasing and permeating out of the earth and working for you. I've done all three. In a group, I prefer the fire because people like fire. They love fire, and they feel, seeing the despacho actually being burnt and being taken up is quite powerful for the group. But any of the three ways are all incredibly powerful depending on what you're wanting. So that's a little bit on despachos. It's a very complex ceremony and a lot goes into it, but I wanted to briefly talk about it as it's something that I do run quite often, or try to run quite often, and do advertise quite a lot. And I tend to get a lot of questions about how it works, why, where it comes from, different questions like that. So if you have any more questions that I haven't answered, or if you'd like me to elaborate on anything, please shoot me a message. I am always happy to talk about all things shamanistic and anism. I mean, even if it's not about this video, if you've just got any questions in general, feel free to contact me. So the next video I do will probably be the San Pedro video, which I'm really excited to do as it's a medicine that I'm very connected with, and I'll talk more on that. So thanks for listening and thanks for tuning in, and I look forward to doing another video. Thanks and bye.